Okay, so we were talking about Pysanky eggs, which are an art form in the Ukraine, a country in Europe. And during this time of year, we decorate Easter eggs, right? Some of you dye them. Not everybody, but some people dye Easter eggs. Does anybody here dye Easter eggs?
Me.
No. Do you?
We do.
Yeah, we dye some Easter eggs. Sometimes we use crayons and draw on them and put them in the colors of dye. And where that wax is from the crayon, it leaves some marks, some pictures. Well, similarly, in the Ukraine, they do these beautiful, intricate, which means very detailed drawings on their eggs. They'll grab an egg, they'll make a little hole in it, and they'll blow the egg out so that it's just an empty eggshell, okay? And then they have these little tools that hold hot wax. And they draw a pattern on top of the egg, and then they put it in one color of dye, okay? Then they take it out, and they get their wax again, and they draw more designs and details on it. And then they put it in another color, and then they get it out, and they draw another design on it, put it in a different color dye, and once they're done, they take it out and they put it in front of a candle flame to melt that wax off of it, and it leaves behind several colors and different designs that were made. They're super beautiful, and on them they often put symbols that mean specific things, which we'll talk about after I play the story here. Rechentas, or I don't even know how to say it. I'm not going to lie. Rechenchka's eggs. Sometimes Russian type names are hard to say. So I'm going to try and play this as loud as possible for y'all. Okay? So you can hear about her eggs. Yeah.
I want this egg and this egg and this egg.
Yes, so in front of you, I either gave you some handouts to look through of different beautiful eggs, or a couple of you have some tactile eggs that I put some hot glue on so you could kind of feel some of the patterns. And then you can...
hot glue in my acting class.
You did. Yeah, I used hot glue so you could feel the pattern on there a little bit. So we're going to listen to the story, and then we're going to be starting to create patterns and designs like a Pysanky egg. Okay, but I want you to know a little bit. This book is by Patricia Polacco.
Pysanky eggs.
Pysanky
I want to feel the
By
egg.
Patricia Polacco. To Vladimir Posner and Philip Donahue for Bridges of Understanding. Babushka lived alone in a dacha, a little house in the country, but she was known far and wide for the fine eggs that she lovingly painted. Her eggs were so beautiful that she always won first prize at the Easter festival in Moskva. Each day, Babushka would take the shell of an egg from her basket and paint it in wonderful designs, using the shapes of stars and flowers, triangles and circles. Through the long, cold winter, Babushka painted. Then one day, after a snowstorm, Babushka went outside. She could still hear the faint sound of falling snow. It was a sound like soft rain. Herds of caribou came to feed at Babushka's because the grasses that usually ate were covered with snow. A miracle, she whispered, and she fed them. These wild things have found their way to me. Just then, a flock of noisy geese honked loudly overhead. As they glided over the snow, one of them faltered and fell from the sky. Babushka went to where the goose lay crumpled in the snow. A hunter did this, Babushka grumbled. She carefully picked up the goose and took it back to her little house. There she fed the little goose from her own table and put the goose in her best basket lined with the warmest quilt from her own bed. poured a saucer of tea with kulik, a sweet Easter bread. She covered each piece with pashka, a spread of cheese, butter, and raisins. They savored each bit together. One for you, one for me, Babushka chanted. Da, da, my little friend. I shall sorely miss you, but you are a wild thing, and a miracle sent you to me. It would not be right to ask you to stay here with me forever. When Babushka left her little house, she took one last look at Rachinka sitting on the doorstep. She waved, then took determined steps for Moskva with the basket of her precious eggs. She crossed the Lebetov Valley where the caribou mothers were walking their newborn calves. A miracle, she thought. New little lives. A miracle. She crossed the bridge over the Moskva River, and soon she could see the onion domes of old Moskva. The festival was bright and exciting. There were goat carts selling kulik, processions, dancers, jugglers, and laughing children playing and running. Babushka showed her old friends the eggs. Her eggs are the most beautiful in all Russia, they thought. Look at them, the elder said. They almost glow, as if the paint is part of the shell itself. The judges picked Babushka's eggs as the most beautiful. Babushka was so happy, she beamed as she looked at the first prize, a feather bedquilt. As Babushka made her way homeward, a honking flock of geese flew overhead. Babushka gave them a long, lingering look. She wondered if Rachinka was one of them. When Babushka arrived at her home that evening, Rachinka was gone. Alone, she put the new quilt on her little bed. She brewed a cup of tea, ate the last of the kulik and pashka, got into bed with her favorite book of poems, and drifted off to sleep. She hadn't noticed Rachinka's basket. But that night, Babushka was awakened from a sound sleep by an ever so small sound. It was coming from Rachinka's basket. She hobbled closer and saw a glorious egg, but this one was different from all the others. It quivered and moved. It made tiny, muffled sounds. They jumped, bumped, rolled, and pitched in the basket. Then there was a crack, and Babushka could see the very special gift that Rachinka had left for her. All a miracle, Babushka said. And this little goose remained with Babushka always.
All right. So I picked that story because it talked about the beautiful Pysanka eggs that Babushka made, and that Babushka was the main woman in the story, right? Who did the eggs?
Yeah, he said, is Babushka a grown-up?
Yes, Babushka is a grown-up and an older woman. So in front of you you have a white piece of paper and an egg tracer. Yes, you could probably draw your own eggs, but we're going to concentrate on those beautiful patterns you're going to put on yours. So I'm going to tape down your paper and tape down your egg if that helps you.
Well,
And
I want this little cat.
I know you saw the cat egg. That's awesome.
I want this little
So you can grab one colored crayon out of your box,
Okay, I get 24 of them.
and you are going to trace your egg. Can I move that for you for a second?
I don't know where to trace it at.
I'll help you.
Oh,
Oh, yes, you can pick as many designs from the paper as you want. But first, we're just going to trace the egg. And I'm going to tell you about some of the meanings there are.
Are we tracing it with what? Pencil?
Jay is in her office.
Thank you. Yes, sorry,
Are we
names.
tracing it with a marker or pencil? What?
With one of our crayons is great.
Oh, do you have a pen?
Because we're going to use our crayons to make a watercolor resist. Good job, Cruz.
Trace my egg.
Trace your egg first.
Yeah, hold it.
Would you like to take yours down? Are you
I
good?
did it.
Let's
Do you need any
see.
tape, Yusuf?
Did you wait? Can you get the whole one?
Very good.
Say it again. Say it again, Jayana.
What you need, dear?
There.
Okay, good job, Chris.
What?
All right. So here's a crayon box right here to your
What?
to your right. Just pick one, or tell me what color you'd like to trace it in.
You know what I do? When I can't really tell.
Okay, orange. All right. So can you feel the outline of your egg here? You want to start at the top? I like to start at the top. And you're going to trace around. Good job. Keep it close to the paper. I say it's got to touch that other tracer paper.
Hold, put your hand in the middle.
So, Cruz, go ahead and take that egg tracer off. Good job. You got it.
Yeah.
You're all done, Miss Carter. So go ahead and take that egg off. Just unstick it.
We're doing it all the way.